Hello, dear traders. Welcome to the daily forecast on Eurodollar. We're going to start by reviewing the winners and losers of the previous trading session. So we have a great tool on the website. It's called Winners and Losers, and it's based on the currency indices. And it allows you to see the strongest and the weakest currency per each period, starting from 1 hour and up to 1 month. So let's have a look at the data over the last 24 hours. So we can see that the Canadian dollar was the weakest currency, and the strongest currencies were the Aussie and the Loonie. They grew 0.44%. So it's quite surprising to see commodity currencies on both sides, because Aussie and the Loonie are very related to different commodities, including precious metals, prices on iron, milk, and the Canadian dollar is actually linked. There's a high correlation between the Canadian dollar and oil prices. So it's quite surprising to see them on the both sides of this tool. So, however, if we look at the euro dollar, we can see that it was pretty stable. So the euro lost almost 0.2%, and the dollar was also one of the losers. And if we look between those currencies, we can see that they're more or less in balance. So let's go back to we'll start with daily chart. And we can see that the euro dollar is trading in a wide triangle. So we have the upper resistance level, we have a lower support line. We're currently in the mid of the range. And if we will switch to a 4-hourly chart, we can see the euro dollar broke this narrow channel, and it's currently trading in the upward direction. And if we will go to an hourly chart, we will see that we also have a very narrow triangle here, and we can just draw it very quickly on the chart. So usually the market is gaining more energy and more potential in this type of formations. And right after that, we can see an increased volatility. So right now, euro dollar is very neutral. So we have to look at when we might see a potential breakout. This type of formations are usually continuation patterns. So we might expect a breakout rather as the chart. Let's say we had a strong impulse, we had the correction, we have a continuation pattern, and we might actually expect to have a breakout. And probably the next level could be approximately the high that was reached on July the 30th. So it can be level 119.10. However, I consider this trade quite risky because so far we don't have a clear trend on euro dollar. The market is trading sideways. I would consider long positions if the market would break 120, but before that, I would just recommend to look for any opportunities to sell in the future. So currently, the current position, the current recommendation would be to go long, but that would be very risky position with a very short take profit. Further, we could consider having long positions in this area, but more preferably would be to consider short position when the euro dollar is going to return below 1.18, and preferably even will break out all this range and will decrease below 117.60. So let's have a look how the situation will evolve in the future. In addition to the technical analysis, I usually look what's happening on the fundamental background. Well, first of all, I would like to highlight that yesterday we had a weak release in the ISM manufacturing PMI. So the report came at 59.5. All values above 50 mean expansion of the manufacturing sector. So the data was actually quite good, but it was much less than expected. So the expected value was 60.8. And also, if you look at the details of the report, you can see weakness across its components. I think also there was a weakness in the prices, and the overall conclusion is that the weakness comes from supply chains, from constraints in the supply chains, and actually there's an increasing backlog. There's some strength that can be still seen in the manufacturing, but the main constraints are supply chain and the employment market, because manufacturers are not able to hire people as quickly as they need, and inventories are decreasing. And potentially, if those issues would be resolved, we can still see very strong numbers from the manufacturing sector, and potentially it can also help to boost the GDP reports, as the manufacturers will need to restore their inventories. So looking at the further data, there's nothing particular expected for the euro and for the US dollar. So the next important report is going to be on Wednesday. We're going to have the services PMIs in Europe, and also we're going to have the release for the ADP non-farm employment change. This is a good predictor for the Friday's release. That's going to happen. It's usually happening first Friday of each month. And also we're going to have non-manufacturing services PMI. So services sector is really huge. It represents 80% of the economy. So this event is going to be very important, but this is going to happen. It's going to happen on Wednesday. So far, I think any potential breakouts, well, I still do not see a lot of potential, even if it will occur. The market can be quite choppy. Don't forget that the Forex market is actually, it's not a trending market. It's usually, let's say, 70% of time the market trades in flat. So you can always expect to have rebounds, returns into the channels, breakouts, false breakouts. Those things happen all the time in the Forex market. There's a relatively short period of time when the market is trending. So that's why you need to be careful, and you cannot trade any type of breakout. And also, I was mentioning this quite often in the previous video and also today. I would like to remind that flat is a great position. It also means that you have a position in the market, that you have a view, which is a neutral view. So flat position, I think it's the best position for this currency pair, but the situation might change in the future. So stay tuned for future releases. We're gonna continue publishing our forecast. Please give likes and write comments if you have any questions, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching, and see you soon.